Let's move on to a question which involves a bit of basic maths to figure out how much you can buy with a certain amount of money. Here's the next question. The problem says, a shop sells jars of coffee. Each jar of coffee costs £4. Michael has £23. Work out the greatest number of jars of coffee Michael can buy. This problem is asking us to figure out how many jars of coffee Michael can buy with the £23 he has. But there's a catch. We want to find the greatest number of jars he can buy, which means we need to maximize the number while staying within the budget. We know that each jar of coffee costs £4. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how many times £4 can fit into £23. To find out how many jars Michael can buy, we simply divide the amount of money he has by the cost of one jar. 23 divided by 4 gives us 5 jars, with £3 left over. Since £3 isn't enough to buy another jar, Michael can only buy 5 jars. So the answer is 5 jars. Whenever you're asked to find the greatest number of items you can buy, just divide the total money by the cost per item and see how many times it fits. If there's any money left over that's less than the cost of one item, it means you can't buy any more. Imagine that you went to a shop and you went to buy jars of coffee. Obviously, you cannot buy half a jar of coffee, you would have to buy a whole jar. So you need to take this into consideration, as students often make this mistake within exams. Great job on that last question. Now, let's dive into part B of the problem. The problem says, in a sale on Wednesday, jars of coffee are sold at half price. Michael thinks that he can now buy exactly twice the number of jars of coffee for £23. Is Michael correct? You must give a reason for your answer. First, let's calculate the sale price of each jar. If each jar originally cost £4, then at half price, the new cost is £4 divided by 2, which equals £2. So each jar now costs £2. Now, let's find out how many jars Michael can buy with £23 at the sale price of £2 each. We divide £23 by £2. 23 divided by 2, which equals 11, remainder 1. This means Michael can buy 11 jars for £22 and he will have £1 left over. Earlier, Michael could buy 5 jars for £23. Twice that number would be 10 jars. Michael can actually buy 11 jars now, which is more than twice the original number of jars. So, Michael is incorrect in thinking he can only buy exactly twice the number of jars. Since 11 jars is more than twice the 5 jars he could originally buy, he can buy more than twice the original number of jars. So our answer is no, Michael is not correct. He can buy more than twice the original number of jars. Always check your calculations to see if the results meet the exact conditions stated. In this case, Michael cannot buy exactly twice the number of jars of coffee for £23. Remember, you're capable of achieving incredible things. Trust in your abilities, keep pushing forward, and know that your hard work will pay off.